Mm, 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 mm. Are we live?
I had to fix my microphone really quick. It cut out on me.
Penny didn't like it because growl fat.
And girl, that's crisis. When your microphone cuts out on you, sometimes you have to roll, you know, you have to bob and weave.
A little bit, yeah.
Hmm.
Sting like a butterfly, fly like Eileen Galvin.
Girl, did I get you those glasses from Tiger Tree?
No, those are in Natalie's car.
Oh.
These are cheap imitations from a bachelorette I went to, but they remind me of you when I wear them.
Aw, that's still really sweet. Mm-hmm.
I leave them in Natalie's car when I'm feeling frisky. I put them on. Girl, happy gratitude week. Give me a cheers. What are you drinking? How are you feeling? What are you wearing? Let's do this.
Okay, I'll answer each question in turn. First of all, what do you think I'm drinking?
Is that
Oh, it's like
is that a
coming home.
Manhattan up? Are we?
I mean, we know who we are. You've read my blog.
This is an Oregon Pinot. Changing it up. Shouts to Joseph.
Yes. Who in fact got us tote bags that said, "It's Oregon Pinot o'clock right the hell now," or whatever it said.
I use that tote bag all the time when I go to the farmer's market, which feels frankly on brand.
It does. It does. But you know what? We are sticking to what we know. And that is a theme on this show is, you know what? When we're always going to come back to you. You know what I mean? I may or may not have a wig on, but I will bring you what you have come to expect from me, which
Yes.
is a look of some sort. Today I'm wearing a coat because it's finally cold in Ohio.
Oh, girl, yes.
Cold and rainy. Is it a yes? I don't know. I don't know if it's a yes, but it's like sort of soothing in a way if you can be inside and look out the window. But I had to be in it with an umbrella for, frankly, too long.
Oh dear, why did you have to be
I
outside?
was
Who
walking
hurt
the
you?
streets. Well, it was partly of my own making because I was going to a like an awards luncheon thing, and I parked an awards luncheon thing, and I parked at a parking garage. I did not take the parking advice that was very graciously given to me. I parked in a garage and walked 3 blocks with my little umbrella.
Oh, that's kind of precious. No, here's the thing. I understand the cold sucks and seasonal depression is real. I just miss the seasons,
Yeah,
and for me, this time of year means cold,
yeah.
you know?
It used to mean cold for us.
Yeah, and like it's so weird in South Florida because it's so warm. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's sweater season, and then I'm just sweating through it. I grilled lobster tails tonight. Like I just went outside and grilled them.
I grilled lobster tails in November. I love
Yeah, it
that.
was
That's
weird.
wild. Well, for someone who grew up in a temperate climate that had winter, it's still a little bit jarring to me now that like we don't we don't have winter in the way that we used to. It's doing something else.
Yeah.
But now it's mildly uncomfortable and I feel like it's winter. You know what I mean? It's
Right, right,
it's
right.
like
Your body
fall
remembers.
fall just started and it's mildly uncomfortable and I'm now wearing a coat in front of you all so you can tell things are going really great.
Girl, I'm a mess too. Look, my hair is like staying together because of Frisco. So my mom is visiting. Shouts, mom.
Love you,
And
Kath.
we love
She
to
may or
see
may
her.
not be watching at this very moment.
Oh my God, terrifying. Terrifying news. Breaking news. Your dad, my mom, chips passing in the night.
It's you know what our target audience is our parents, and I love that.
I
I
love that for us.
I won't apologize for that.
You know what it is? When I was a little girl, I would like sing for my family and they would be so proud of me. And I thought I was the best. And this is just the adult version of
I,
that.
I love the memes that are like when you get a new outfit and you do a fashion show for your family, and I'm like, how dare you?
How do
Frankly,
you know me currently?
yeah, I know. That was 3 weeks ago. I don't do that
Yeah, you're like, you're
anymore.
showing it for your partner.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And by the way, the
Um,
feedback I get is not the feedback I want.
no, it never is.
No.
Look at this. Look at that pure Crisco. Kelly Kapowski energy.
I can't
This,
see it. I can't. Oh, now I can see it. You
yeah.
did it. Oh my god. Are you
So
okay?
we made we made so many things. Well, first of all, This woman left the house at 3 a.m. pretty much, and we have made so much
Wow.
already, but we have so much more to make.
Yeah. Well, girl, you know what? It's kind of like with this fidelity, to really get into it, we need more subscribers. So I am talking to you directly in the audience. Please subscribe to our
Yeah.
YouTube channel. But like with this fidelity, it's kind of giving me like Korean glass skincare routine. You know?
Girl, I just got a new lipstick, so I'm feeling really good about that. Maybe that's what it is. I call it business fish.
Oh, I love that. Oh, and I love that the top kind of um it's like a little manhole cover.
Oh yeah, it's super dramatic. Yeah, it's super dramatic. But I
It's
was like,
sweet. I love it. Is that a
I
coral? Is that a shimmery coral situation?
I think so. It's called Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Girl, we're here to talk about practice,
Yeah, which, hey, getting yourself
which
a
I
nice
am
new lip color,
which I am currently in.
that's getting yourself a nice new lip color is crisis. And for me, because I do lean into a bold lip, if you see me with like, one very bold thing that does not match the rest of the story I'm telling, like if I'm in this outfit with a green lip, it's not hard to tell when I'm in crisis, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there is something very conspicuous on my face that is an actual cry for help.
When I'm
Go
in
back to
crisis,
my Instagram and scroll back to about 2020.
when I'm in crisis, I wear my hair in those pigtails that are buns. Everyone knows.
The space
I'm
buns. The space buns. Girl, you look good in a
Space
space bun.
buns.
And I don't want to hear anything else on the subject. You look good in a space
It's
bun.
a bit of a crisis. No. I think crisis is one of those words that I think growing up, I don't know. I think we underuse it and overuse it. I think we use it in ways that don't make sense and are too much, and then other ways it's what I mean. I think
Crisis?
me, yeah, for crisis, like
Yeah.
that word in general, because I think there's so many words. You got me this beautiful gift for my birthday, and it's these words that are untranslatable. And to me, crisis is a word that is almost untranslatable from the individual definition. It can mean so many different things. And I know that's with all words, but the range of what crisis can mean, like I'm having a crisis, my lip color didn't arrive to like Iran Contra. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a real range with that word. So for you personally, like what happens to you when you're in a crisis?
Well, I wish it was like in Sailor Moon season 3, and I'm pretty sure I've already made this reference on the show. Like, I'm convinced. So, those of you who've been watching the show for a while, I apologize for the repeat reference, but
you absolutely have.
Yeah, in the 3rd season of Sailor Moon, she gains an extra power where she has this like holy grail object that she can pull out in a moment of crisis, and for a while it's every episode. So she goes through a full-on crisis phase, and I'm like, girl, I've been there. It's called Zoloft. But she has this like magic grail object, and she'll say Moon Crisis Makeup, and she like goes from normal Sailor Moon to Super Sailor Moon, and then she has this like additional, she like rallies and gets this additional energy. Frankly, I have to do it every time that I do a show now, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be out at a show until 2:30 a.m. Moon Crisis Makeup. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, I think we made it. So we made it to 11:30 a.m. or 11:30 p.m. on my birthday, I think, or maybe midnight. But honestly, like that's the latest I can go, and I think that's one of the things is like working up the energy to do what you do, also because it almost always means late nights.
Yeah, and even if I make it through that night, the next day is harrowing.
Oh my god,
it's harrowing.
The biggest challenge about like South Florida is everything's so far away. And I think that's one of the things where it's like, hey, whatever you do, if it's a show or whatever, you have an hour drive home. So
the commute.
Get yourself together. Yeah. So that time also, it's like you have to balance that with the coming down, right? Of like, oh, show is so bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like crazy shit. And then you have to come down in enough time to like,
yeah.
Shit.
Girl, one time in an effort to save money, I did a show in Ypsilanti, which is 3 hours north. And I told myself, oh, I'll leave at 1 and get home.
What was saving money about it? I'm just curious.
Oh, so
Specific the location?
I'm glad you asked. The saving money was I didn't get a hotel room. I was gonna drive back that night.
No.
So I told myself I'll leave at 1 a.m. no matter what's happening. I'll say my like 2 minute goodbyes and I'll get in the car. You're already calling bullshit on this, as you should.
Wait, at 1, that was the time you decided?
Yeah,
Not like
a sensible 1 a.m. This is 28-year-old me, right? A sensible 1 a.m. and my head will touch the pillow at a nice sensible 4 a.m. and I'll get a fabulous amount of sleep. My eyes will snap open in the morning. I'll make myself coffee and I'll think, ooh, what a night we had. You know what I mean? That was the plan. And so what happened was I left the show at 2:30 a.m. Got in my car. No point of me thought, I'm going to go to a Super 8 and find a room. I thought, you know what? Let's put on jock jams. Y'all ready for this? And I just 3 hours home tried to keep myself awake. Highway hypnosis. Big time. It was not safe. For me or those around me. She's a danger to herself and others.
She's giving danger to herself and others.
Yes. And then I got home at 5:30 and I woke up the next morning, hair over here, eyelashes just like glued down somewhere on my clavicle. And I thought, for what?
What did you prove?
What did I prove? What did I really gain from that experience? It cost me a lot. I feel like the experiences like that, I just feel like I'm handing off a year of my life. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
Crisis.
One of the things that helps me the most in times of like crisis in terms of like my life is like making sure I'm eating, which sounds crazy, but like in the middle of baking and cooking today with my mom, I was like, I need to eat a bag of carrots. And that poor woman like tried to take a carrot and I was like, I weighed these, they're 5 ounces each. This is how many I'm eating. I'll get you your own bag, which is insane, right? Which is insane. And she's like, I just want 1 carrot. I'm like, no, I did weigh them, which is not healthy. Actually, it is healthy because to me, I need consistency in what I eat. So unhealthy for some, healthy for others. Remember when I dated that triathlete who I had to file a casual restraining order against?
I do remember.
Yeah. So she weighed all of her food.
Oh my gosh.
And I got used to it for some things, and I really liked it for like veggies and fruits because I can't look and be like, that's the right amount of grapes. But it's not because I'm like, oh, I can't eat 2 bags of them. I just, you know what I'm saying? It just helps me.
Yeah.
And I look insane. So I like denied my mom a baby carrot today because like that's where my control is, right? And like when I'm in crisis, and by the way, like because I love schedules and I love, getting to the gym and routine and things like that.
Yeah.
I love the flexibility of it too, but I love getting back to it. When I move from that, I find my ability to go tailspin is so much higher. So what can I do to kind of stay in, I don't even want to say control, but just kind of stay focused? That for me, like food is a big thing. So like I even made my lunches for the week, even though I'm not working, because I'm like, I need that. It grounds me. It makes me feel good. And you know me with food. I think food is medicine. Like, I know I'm really weird and I'm probably a hippy dippy person who's eventually going to make their own granola.
Oh, lean into that. You know what? I'll see you at Ecstatic Dance. Thank you very much. You need to come.
Ecstatic Dance?
Yeah. Girl, you need to come down here on a Sunday and we'll just wiggle.
I would love that. So tell me, just give our viewers, especially those in Columbus, Ohio, if they want to join you, what is ecstatic dance? Because sometimes you dance, sometimes you nap, sometimes you cry. I'm very confused about what ecstatic dance is.
So it is a long-standing tradition. I've learned that this is a thing. It's all over the world. This is it's a thing that people do. And in the Columbus version, there's this group that they just passed 1 year, and we all get together at the Church of the Sparkling Unicorn, which is formerly a Methodist church that has been reconsecrated, I like to say, as a space where there are a lot of artists and queers and hippies and just, folks that are really into kind of like expansive sensory experiences, right? So we all get together in a church sanctuary where all the seating has been cleared out and there's a DJ up on the stage, on the altar. And it starts out in a low energy and it kind of builds in intensity until it gets to maybe club music. Like one time we were dancing to like goth industrial club music. And it was incredible because that is definitely in my star map, you know? And then they build back down to slow intensity and you are really tired by the end of an hour. So like a lot of times I'll just be lying down at the end, just listening, you know? And you do it with people. You can optionally dance with others if you want to, but I tend to dance by myself because you've read my blog. And yeah, I love a solo dance. I always get lost in my own little world. And yeah, and there's no words. It's just movement. So it's like a judgment-free space where you can just interpretively move to music, and I love that.
I love them.
Yeah, it really fulfilled this little like missing thing that I didn't know was missing. And then when I started going, you feel like really nervous at first because being vulnerable in that way and letting go of like judgment, like the possibility of perceived judgment is like it's difficult to set that down. And this last time, I was so tired from just work and all the other things that I was doing that the second half of the whole time, I was like, I realized I was kind of dragging my body along, and my body was like, why are you doing all that? And I just sat on a bench and took a nap. It was great.
I don't think enough of us listen to what our bodies need. I just don't think that's like a thing in our culture necessarily. And I love that like you reserve space for it. Honestly, one of the things in bringing you to church in Wisconsin for a family wedding, one of the things
That was
I
stunning.
love
That was
about,
iconic.
it was an iconic trip, is like I think about the things about mass that like felt very comfortable for me in that moment, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the ritual of kind of an hour a week with yourself. And I don't, buy into organized religion anymore, but because, religion is made by men and women and people have flaws. But I think about where religion, as organized religion, came from, right? And this need to just sit for an hour once a week, mm-hmm. or stand for an hour once a week, or kneel 3 times a day or 2 times a day, every day. And this like mind-body connection to the routine of sitting with self.
Yeah.
Where else you can get that without the guise of organized religion? Do you know what I mean? And I think you found.
Yeah, well, I think, so I like to visualize myself as, I kind of feel like I'm keeping crisis at bay. And I know that sounds like a cry for help. I don't mean it to. But I visualize like I visualize myself like life is swimming on the rim of a whirlpool. And if there are a couple factors that I'm not paying attention to, like I could spiral downward at any moment, And some of those factors for me are things like the need for ritual. I think humans have a need for ritual, and it's everything from repetitive activity to the spiritual aspects of ritual, right? Like wherever you're getting it, however you understand it, there are these needs that keep you like spiritually grounded in a way.
Yeah.
And for me, this was this. I mean, I kept referring to that space as a former church. I was like, oh, the former church, the former church. And then I realized I'm going to a place every Sunday afternoon to do a very specific spiritual practice. I'm still going to church.
Right.
Like it still is a church, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It is it's ostensibly a secular experience, but I realized, oh, this isn't so different. It's just because I have my own particular set of hang-ups with organized religion as well. And that's why you might be surprised to learn. And so like I wasn't willing to trust that format or even that set of objectives with that kind of activity. Mm-hmm. And then I realized like, oh, it's almost like discovering something that people have been doing for a really long time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it has all of these like ancillary benefits. Like I connect with people that I know. I'm like, oh, it's you again. How are you doing? Like the seeing people even just once a week, and I don't know any of them super well, Like we have a great relationship, but it's not as close as like my few friends that if they call it just drop anything and go hang out with them. But I do think there's something really nice, and it just keeps me grounded to reality that like there are those little connections that I have throughout my life, and when you connect all those dots together, somehow I'm still swimming at the rim of that whirlpool and not getting sucked in. Because when you get really isolated, you know, like when I'm in crisis, I feel disconnected from those around me. I feel like I'm out of control. The activities in my life are not manageable, they're not sustainable. I'm overwrought, I'm overcommitting, whatever it is. And sometimes going somewhere on a regular basis and talking to people and just being like, oh, how are you? I'm okay, how are you? You know, like processing some of that stuff with other people. I just think it kind of keeps me somewhere safe. Hmm.
There's two things have come to mind as you shared, and I loved like where this went because for me, I'm like, oh my God, I do Sunday hot yoga and I do not miss it. And I lose my mind when I miss it. And it's 75 minutes and it's 10 a.m. And I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, Jesus, church. But, I really loved your pivot to the community aspect because sometimes I think about the community aspect of organized religion as a trap or a prison. Hear me out. So, like, oftentimes the way organized religions are set up is, hey, let's say you are a nuclear family and you're cis, heteronormative, straight couple, right? Well, okay, we're going to give you free childcare on Saturday, Sundays, and we're going to give you this, and you're going to develop these relationships. And hey, guess what? If the relationship doesn't work out, one of you has to lose this. Or if you leave this faith, you will lose the free childcare, the access to food and resources, the access to these things, right? Because people will develop that, right?
Yeah.
They'll develop these like community supports, and then you're bound by them. And I've met people who are trying to come out as queer and they're like, I can't come out as queer because I will lose my entire support structure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then you stay in the closet. Like, protect yourself, protect your family. No one is telling you not to. But I had a conversation. I don't know, I'm like the coming out queer whisperer. I had a call and
you really are. And that is work that needs to be done. So thank you.
Adam says white woman, I'm fine, I can handle it. But this woman like called me and that was her biggest struggle. She's like, I don't care about my husband. I'm going to lose the people I've connected in the church. And my point was, if they are real people, you won't.
Yeah.
If they are real friends, real family, real community, you won't. But also, that you can't underestimate the social pressures they're facing.
Yeah.
To ostracize this person. Anyways, so I think a lot about community support in the way ostracization works when you step out, the inclusion, exclusion, in-group, out-group, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I actually really love the side of the casual community for an individual that you brought up. Because I think a lot of it in terms of like family support and kind of being bound.
Mm-hmm.
Because our late-stage capitalism system doesn't allow for anyone to have a child and afford it. Doesn't allow for all of the, right? So the church has kind of become this safety net.
Yeah.
But there's so many requirements, and it's you signing a deal with the devil.
It's kind of conditional. Yeah, I mean, it's not kind of, it is conditional.
That's conditional, yeah.
And everyone, coming out is always a cost-benefit analysis. It's an unfortunate truth. I wish that more straight people understood that coming out is not just a social media post and celebrations, and I think it's nice to look to those inspiring positive outcomes, but it's really painful and it costs people something. I mean, Brooke, you and I have talked about before, there's I think she would identify as a trans woman if she actually had the conditions that were necessary to be able to come out. But I only knew her on social media. I met her at a bar that we both frequented, and she's in her 60s, and she was sometimes in her spare time would cross-dress and have this secret identity, but no one in her family knew whatsoever. No one in her support network knew. She had a completely separate life. And from my frame of reference, I came out when I was, 21. And, yeah, little baby. I was a baby tran. I came I came out at 21, and from my now kids are coming out much earlier, so I'm like, even sometimes I have to check myself because I'm like, I came out later in life. Like that's actually absolutely not the case.
That is
But
not the case. Thank you.
yeah, but I was talking to her with my own perspective of like, oh, why wouldn't you come out, and she was like, well, you have to understand that for me to come out would completely upend my entire life. It would, um, her perception, her truth was that like this would also have a lot of impacts on her family. She was worried like, oh, this could break my family up, or this could impact their reputation in their spiritual community. And who am I to judge that experience, right? Like that's ultimately her decision. It's not the decision I would make, but I want to hold space for that. That is absolutely a real thing.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a shift in the queer community, the LGBTQ community overall, where it's like, come out, Harvey Milk, right? Come out to prove you exist, and now being like, come out if you're safe. And like,
Yeah.
I think there's something to that, right? Because
Especially
right
now,
we're
because the
seeing-
truth is we're not safe.
Exactly. And like there is this huge extremist evangelical Christian bent in America, so much so the Catholic Pope was like, y'all are doing too much. Like, which is insane that the Pope said that about the Catholics here. Because he's like, you're not actually doing what the Bible says. And actually, I think a bishop got fired in Texas because he's like, like, you know what I mean? There's this like schism, and it's just so extreme right now. So it's good to kind of hear like even the term religion kind of redefined, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is spiritual practice, and what does this look like, and what does tradition look like, and ritual? Because I think I've always kind of conflated the two, but I think I really like that you're doing ecstatic dance. I really like that I go to hot yoga, and I really like that we're finding that space to kind of recover.
Yeah. In the realm of, crisis is obviously a very broad topic, but I think we've been talking about it in a queer context. Shocking for this show, I know. Brooke, we never talk about queer issues. Why is no one talking about the queer issues? But one thing, like, I'm an occultist. Another thing that
shocking. Another
shocking revelation. But I'm an occultist, and I always like to explain it as the reason that I am an occultist specifically is because I like working with historical and imperfect texts. And you could expand that out to working within systems, because that's what we all have to do, right? As people, we all have to work within systems so that we can change them. Because the reality is we're all participants, and we're all benefiting from a whole series of systems, right?
Right.
So in the realm of spirituality and religion, I think everyone's style is a little bit different with their understanding of spirituality, or lack thereof, if that's how you identify. But specific example, I was at a talk about tarot, which was really great, and it was like expanding tarot beyond the binary, and I was like, this is my jam. This is 100% subscribe, And throughout the course of the talk, it was like, the presenter was talking about how some people make omissions from the tarot with things that they see as kind of inherently problematic. So, like, this is the Emperor card. It's very masculine. Some people pull it out of the deck. And I was like, why would you do that? Why would you pull it out of the deck? Because essentially, to me, that's the same thing as denying that problematic histories exist, right? Instead, why don't you keep the card in the deck and develop a nuanced understanding of how that card could represent issues that we have in our culture, right? Issues with the human experience. Because I don't think we can just pretend like we can't build the world we want to live in without actively grappling with the issues of the world we are living in.
That's so weird. What a terrible idea. I mean, you'd have to get rid of every deck in the...
You'd have no cards left.
Card in the deck.
You'd have no cards left.
Oh my God, one day we're going to do complete mind tarot. Like, you're not going to have cards.
Yeah. I was joking with Michael Morris. I saw them last night, and we were talking about doing a tarot reading where we just, like, we're having a conversation, and we just start flipping cards on the table with no explanation. It's just at some point the other person is like, "Are you gonna start interpreting those?" And you're like, "What cards?" You just keep flipping cards over.
Michael Morris is the patron saint of this show. Anyways,
Yes.
girl, we are at time. You are a absolute Thanksgiving delight. Cheers to you. Cheers to all our viewers who are enjoying a Thanksgiving episode, a pre-Thanksgiving episode, a post-Thanksgiving Day episode. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, good for you.
Yes.
Take care of yourselves and one another. Girl, I love you.
I love you too. And also, I do not celebrate Thanksgiving. I do not celebrate colonizer holidays, but I do celebrate thankfulness. And so I would like to express gratitude for you, Brooke, the continual rock in my life. I would like to express gratitude for our special visiting guest, Kath. Thank you very much for tuning
Oh, Kath, Hurricane Kath.
in. And also to our regular viewers, Joseph and my dad. Love you so much.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
My gratitude is for you and for Penny.
Oh, Penny. She's such a big star. She's not even paying attention now. She's forgotten the little people.
Yeah, she's very busy and just got diagnosed with arthritis.
I'm so Penny.
So it's fine.
Oh.
Look, girl, when Penny dies, I hope you're ready to fly down. Like, I don't know what your plan is. I'm telling you.
The tickets are booked. The tickets. I'm kidding. No, the tickets are fully booked. Also, Charlotte, we're grateful for you. Charlotte Bellin is watching us tonight.
Oh, Charlotte, my original artist. I still have your pillows of Penny.
Yes, the Penny pillows. We love it.
Yeah, they're the best. I broke the mug. I'm not good at mugs. I break mugs all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone have a great holiday, and if it's nothing more than time off, enjoy your time off, and we'll see you next week.
Fuck yeah, PTO. Love
Bye.
y'all.